The fallout from the debate continues. Tim Walz looks like he's doing worse and worse, and JD Vance has really renewed himself. I'm John Mike King. We're going to cover all of this. This one is about when JD Vance mowed over the debate moderators.
When they were talking, at one point, Vance wanted to correct something about how Haitians got into this country. And he was right. And the moderators wouldn't let him correct it. It's very interesting.
So there was a moment, I think we have the tape, where he did not allow the contemptible behavior of the moderators to infuriate him. He just kept going. I thought this was one of the coolest moments I've ever seen in a debate. Here it is.
And it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status. Right. Temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process.
It's really kind of hard to describe how awful Margaret Brennan and Norah O'Donnell are. I think America just saw it. But that was masterful.
JD Vance was masterful. He shows where breaking the rules is sometimes a huge benefit. It actually shows great leadership. And here's MSNBC with the weirdest take on JD Vance.
Yeah. And I actually think if you're a woman, that might be the worst moment JD Vance had, because he was going to mansplain right over that mute button. He was, and again, I don't pretend to know how everyone will react to this. I think that a lot of women in positions of authority that should command respect just by virtue of that dynamic will see themselves in some dude that disrespected them and talked over.
I'll let the women in the audience tell us down in the comments below. Do you think it was JD Vance was doing an anti-woman move in interrupting the corrupt moderators?
Vance was right. Okay? There's nuance to it. But the bigger problem is why he was moved on. We've got so much to get to. This says who? You know what I mean? Like, what is the schedule here? So you have a list of topics? That's not what it's about. It's about how the American people can access these two men and the two theories and the narratives, and you got to let them have their speak, because now you created a story where you're the problem.
This is even two Democrats. You know, Geraldo Rivera said he won the debate. Everyone said he won the debate, but here's Rachel Maddow.
That one of these candidates is much slicker than the other, is a much more practiced kind of professional debate style speaker, and the other candidate won.
That is just pure gaslighting by MSNBC. It also shows that they're trying to say that JD Vance only won on form and not on substance. That's their spin. But just think of it if it was the opposite. If Tim Walz won on form, they would say he was masterful. He's the greatest leader there is. So this is some of the fallout once again on MSNBC. This is proof that they're gaslighting you. This is why they want to take away free speech so that this will be the only opinion that gets out to the public.
There was one bad moment for Tim Walz in this debate where he got mixed up and embarrassed in answering a question about exactly what month he had been in China in relation to the Tiananmen Square protest.
It seems to me if the goal is to make Tim Walz your neighbor, your Midwest neighbor, right, a nice guy, actually, despite all the things we're saying this morning, it's mission accomplished. And Tim Walz got exactly what he needed out of this, and so did Kamala Harris.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
We've talked about this a little bit when we were sitting over there waiting. I think Tim Walz is one of the best communicators out there in Democratic politics.
I've become friends with school shooters.
Yeah, there's an example of his masterful. He's a great communicator, and he flubs and says that he's friends with school shooters. How do you explain MSNBC? What's their job? look at this is just an incredible moment on the Glenn Beck show where a liberal is starting to change her mind. She's a Forbes contributor and she's starting to come around that she's being gaslit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I definitely went through a phase probably for about a year and a half where I really thought that, anyone who supported President Trump was at best supporting racism and at worst downright racist themselves. Yeah.
Wow. And where did that come from?
I was watching a lot of MSNBC.
Okay.
If you watch a lot of MSNBC, you are gaslighting yourself and deceiving yourself. And the people are waking up because MSNBC, it is not working. Free speech is somehow breaking through the Leviathan state-run media. I'm John Mike Keene.